A very good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues about Nigeria and what is actually happening in the country as we actually, make all of these discussions to help make sense and drive our country forward. My name is Ubong Usoro, and I'm saying welcome to the program. Tonight on the program, we'll be looking at two issues as we look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu'S conviction today and also the PDP issues that we have. All right, so we have two guests that will be joining us as we get to speak with them tonight on the program. But let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll get straight to having the conversation tonight. Let's go for this break. Back. So tonight on the program, we get to look at some of the trending conversations that we're having in Nigeria at this time. Mazinan Kanu'S conviction and also the PDP issues that we're having. Yesterday, we saw the police going to barricade the whole secretariat, the PDP secretariat, Wadata House at Wuse here in Abuja. And it's very disturbing, right? As Nigerians continues to talk about what is happening with the PDP and what is actually the way forward. So those are the discussions we have tonight on the program. But let's check out some trending political gist that we're able to track for you tonight. Okay, so while we wait to sort that out, there's been a lot, right, concerning some political discussions going on, and we're able to track some stories, and in no time we'll be able to get that story ready. But talking about that, because we'll actually keep bringing in it. Tonight on the program, we'll be talking about PDP power tussle, as we have joining us Honorable Nwafo Nwali, who is the PDP publicity secretary for Ebonyi State. As we look at PDP power tussle, matters arising, issues, and reaction. All right, so I don't know if Honorable Nwafo has joined us. All right, so let's go for a short break. When we're back, we'll be able to put all of these things into perspective. I know they hear you. All right, so we're having some technical issues, but I think we'll be able to solve it. All right, let's go check out some trending political discussions how we're able to track for you tonight. The first story states, a fresh crisis has erupted within the African Democratic Congress ahead of the 2027 elections, as a faction loyal to the factional national chairman, Nafiu Bala, warned opposition heavyweights, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party's Peter Obi, and former Governor of Kanu'S State, Nasri El-Rufai, against hijacking the party. That's some crisis that may be brewing there in the ADC, the African Democratic Congress. All right, we'll take another story tonight. Court labels Nnamdi Kanu international terrorist. So a federal high court judge has labeled IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu an international terrorist, citing his threats against foreign embassies and security forces. We'll take another story tonight. Why Nnamdi Kanu deserves death sentence, death penalty prosecution. So the Federal High Court in Abuja today convicted the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on a 7-count charge of terrorism brought against him by the federal government. Justice James Omotosho delivered the judgment today, finding Kanu guilty on all counts, including engaging in acts of terrorism, belonging to and leading a proscribed organization, threatening and killing security operatives, burning properties, concealment, and importing an unregistered radio transmitter. Immediately after the conviction, the federal government lead counsel Adeboyega Awomolo (ACN) urged the court to hand down the maximum sentence allowed under the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013. And you could go ahead and actually get the story. The story is actually on a lot of the national dailies at the moment, and it's a big story that we have in Nigeria at the time. Let's see a video where we had the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu also saying something after the conviction.
Only me, I feel sad. My colleague is here. All of us, we feel very bad. It's a very bad day for judiciary. It's a very bad day for the criminal justice system in Nigeria. This is the first time in my entire life as a lawyer that I have seen a man being convicted for the mere words he uttered. Just like someone can say, don't be silly, and you say he committed an offense, and somebody say, just go and die, and you say he committed an offense. In law, we call those things mere perfect. They are harmless speeches. And you accuse a man of making broadcasts from a location somewhere around the world that he didn't name, and he could not tie any of those broadcasts directly to any criminal activity in Nigeria, and he stands convicted. That is very bad. So he cannot lend credence to this very narrative that the Igbo man faces another type of justice in Nigeria, other than from the one that is being faced by others.
To interject, are you saying these words of incitement as found by the court were just commentary or buffers, as you rightly mentioned?
They are mere buffers. A lot of people make empty threats every day. You fight with a man or you fight a woman with your fellow woman, and she says to you, okay, go and die, I'll come and kill you. This and that, don't be silly. Accident, Amadi or let thunder fire you. Are you supposed to be convicted for that?
Okay, sir, so we are now at this point where the court has delivered its judgment. What is the next line of action? Although Mr. Kanu does not have a lawyer as it stands, because you all are his consultant, so what would you advise him to do? And despite the killings happening in the southern eastern part of Nigeria?
Well, we're heading to the Court of Appeal, but as a responsible citizen, I'll see this opportunity to call for calm. I don't want anybody to get so angry in the southeast that some violence will start occurring from here and there. Let everybody be calm. This situation can be controlled. We have the next court in the chain, which is the Court of Appeal, and we're heading to the Court of Appeal.
And how optimistic are you that the Court of Appeal will either overturn or upheld this judgment?
Can my colleague take that question? Please. Sure, please.
Thank you very much. We are very optimistic because, in the first place, from the analysis my Lord gave, you will find that my Lord was not able to pinpoint at any one single person who carried out any of the acts that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is said to have incited. You said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu incited killing. You didn't bring one single person who said, yes, I was the one who was incited. So, to me, I felt that it was the court giving evidence. I felt that it was the court giving evidence. There was no single human being that was brought to say, I was incited by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or I killed so and so person because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The issue of Gulak was mentioned. Gulak was killed. Hope Uzodinma, who is a chief security officer of Imo State, said that his killing was political.
Sir, sorry, because we're pressed for time, so we just have to end it here.
Thank you.
So,
All right, so join us tonight to help make sense of the discussion as we talk about PDP power to also matters arising, issues and reaction. We have Honorable Nwafo Nwalu, who's the PDP Publicity Secretary for Ebonyi, joining us live tonight on the program. A very good evening to you, Honorable Nwafo. I don't know if you can hear me.
Good evening. Yes. Good evening, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the program. Well, it's good to have you. Let me start by asking, how's Ebonyi tonight?
Ebonyi is very, very cool and calm. Ebonyi is cool and calm.
All right, and we know that at the moment Ebonyi is in the opposition. How does it feel playing politics in the opposition in your state at this particular time? Honorable Nwafo, can you hear me? All right, so I think we're having some technical issues there. Let's get back to the studio as we'll try to highlight some of the issues that we have and some of the issues that we hope to talk about tonight on the program. All right, so tonight on the program, like I said, we'll be talking about the PDP issues that we're having. We're trying to have the Public Secretary of the PDP in Ebonyi State join us to help make sense of the discussion, even though at the moment our network is giving us some issues. Let's see if we can switch to a phone call where we get to have this discussion with him. I don't know if he can hear me at the moment. Honorable Nwafo, good evening to you. All right, okay. It's good to finally have you on the program. And tonight we want to talk about your political party. And I started by asking, some questions about being in opposition at this time and how it actually feels to do the opposition at this time. All right, so walk me through, what does it feel like to operate from the position in your party at this time?
Generally, in this country, Nigeria, the opposition is not easy, coupled with the intimidation from the ruling party at the national level. If you can attest, if you can agree with me that the opposition in Nigeria has faced a lot of challenges. If you can recall the litigation we faced and we triumphantly overcome. And I can tell you that the opposition in Nigeria is really a tedious job, especially when the ruling party has been used as a tool to disorganize the opposition in this country. And the action of the ruling party in the All Progressives Congress is nothing to write home about. The opposition is at a crossroad, and I'm optimistic that we will overcome. We will overcome.
All right, so tonight we want to talk about the power tussle in your party. And we saw the Ibadan convention and, how at the convention, the PDP succeeded in having new leaders, electing, saying, okay, Kabiru Turaki SAN is the new national chairman of the party. But also it also, brought some factions, because some people were expelled from the party and from that particular convention. And to them, they said that expulsion is illegality, because that convention, there was a court order according to that other camp that the convention should not even hold in the first place. I like that you walk us through what is happening now, and what are you hearing that at the moment, which of the camp do you even support? Because we have multiple camps now. Sam Walaya, who is still saying he's the national secretary of the party, that is not a permanent secretary, his tenure has not come to an end. What are the issues with the PDP at the moment?
As we speak now, sometimes when I hear people saying that PDP has faction, I don't think that PDP has faction. Why did I say so? I will tell you categorically that PDP did not have any faction. Yes, because the convention is in Ibadan, took place with the supervision of the INEC. You understand? And also, you can recall very well that since the emergence of Dr. Kabiru Sani Muturaki as the authentic national chairman of PDP, there has not been any other congress held nationwide. So there has not been any other convention held nationwide. So you can boldly say that PDP has faction if we have a different convention, let's say in a different venue or in a different location, and another leaders emerge from a different convention. But as we speak now, PDP do not have any faction. PDP is one family. You understand? And as far as party politics is concerned, there must be a competing interest. But as we speak now, PDP do not have any faction or any camp. We are a united family, and we will forge ahead and defeat the failed APC.
Right. So
the failed ruling of Progressive Congress.
All right. So let's stay with your party now. So you say you don't have factions, but yes, on weekend the minister of the FCT, Sam Mayawa, I'm just mentioning some name, and a lot of other people. Abdurrahman, who claims to be the acting chairman of the PDP, also I talked about the fact that they are the ones in power. In fact, the other day at Wanata Plaza, we saw them come inside, and the way in your secretariat at entrance, and were there before the other camp. So seeing all of this, what is the hope that you'll be able to resolve all of these issues before the 2027 general elections?
Yes, no any political party without any interest. You understand? If a political organization is devoid of interest, it becomes a mere gathering. You understand? I can tell you that what Anyamu and Wike and those you just mentioned are doing are just mere distraction. You understand? But I can tell you that the PDP as the main opposition party in Nigeria is not distracted with what they are doing. You understand? Let me chip into this. Let it be on record that the explosion of Wike, Fayose, and those you just Anyanwu and those you just mentioned is to maintain rule of law. You understand? And also to uphold principles of rule of law and to preserve the ethics of the party. You understand? So the decision that was arrived at the National Convention is not to witch hunt anyone. It is to maintain decorum, to respect the constitutional integrity of the party, to preserve the unity of the party, and to preserve the sanctity of the system.
All right.
So, if someone is telling you that PDP has faction, PDP we do not have any faction. If you can recall, you can also take into cognizance what is happening in Ekiti. You understand? The PDP as the main party has produced a candidate in the party under the former national chairman, being Ilya Omar Damagun. You understand? And the party deemed it fit that in the last convention that was held in Ibadan, that the party produced a fresh party officials that will pilot the affairs of the party in the next 4 years.
Right. So let's talk about
People be saying that PDP has a faction. We do not have faction.
Right. Let's talk about those that will pilot the party, like you mentioned, in the next 4 years. Knowing that some governors, like Governor of Plateau State, Governor Mutfwang, have said he's not in support. Even the chairman of the Convention Planning Committee, Governor Fintiri, has said the expulsion of those members is not a step in the right direction at this time. And we've seen a lot of other governors. Of course, the governor of Rivers State was not even present in the convention, and the governor of Osun State, and all of that. Are you not worried that the few governors that you have, a lot of them are not in support of the party's decision or the decision to actually expel the members that you've mentioned?
Okay. If you are saying that because one or two governors could not identify with the convention, did they render the convention invalid? The answer is no. The convention remains valid, and the decision taken by the convention also remains valid. So, and there is no how you will have a uniform situation whereby all the governors and mind you, we are humans. You understand? They may have been engaged in one activity or the other in their respective states that made them not to come. That does not mean that PDP is in crisis. We are not in crisis, and that does not mean that PDP has faction. We do not have faction. You understand? So let it be very, very clear that when an issue has been taken by the party, the disagreement or the misunderstanding of some few individuals does not render that decision invalid. You understand? So, PDP, what we are focused now as the main political party in Nigeria is to reclaim power in 2027. You understand? And we do not have any faction whatsoever.
All right. So also talking about your convention, we know that so many states, in fact, how many states, let me even ask you the question, how many states is it Kanu'S you call, or how many states sent in delegates to the convention?
All the states were all represented.
But from what we have, from the records we have records that delegates didn't come from states like Kwara. We have records that delegates didn't come from states like Rivers State and many other states.
Unfortunately, there are some, the public has been misinformed on different directions. Let me just use
that's why you are here.
You understand?
Right. So give us the right information.
The social media has become a place where fake news and concocted story flies up and down. You understand? So what I'm saying in essence is that even if you go to the social media, they will even say that there was no even convention in Ibadan. So those are this we find ourselves in a country whereby people celebrate fake news more than the legitimate information.
So what's the true story?
The true story is that the convention held in Ibadan remains valid, and no state was sidelined. That is why it's
not sidelined. Were they present at the convention? Did we have delegates from all the states in Nigeria? We have 36 states plus the FCT.
I can tell you that all the states were represented, all the delegates. So, and for clarity, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Go ahead. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. PDP is a united family. We are a family bonded in unity. You understand? And rule of law. You understand? So, What happened in Ibadan is not a selective congress, convention by a certain group of people. You understand? It is the convention of the genuine members of PDP. You understand? Yeah. So those who felt that the failed All Progressives Congress could not meet the demands and the yearning of Nigerians. You understand? These are the people that converged in Ibadan and say, look, we are going to have a new people that will follow the address of this political party, being the PDP, in the next 4 years. That will help us to wrestle power with the failed All Progressives Congress, being the APC. You understand? The PDP is united. The PDP is united. The PDP has much. We are forging ahead to reclaim presidency, and that is our main target as we speak.
All right. So,
and we are not distracted with any activity of some certain individual trying to derail the party. No, we are not distracted. We are focused on we know what we need. What we need is to offer a purposeful leadership to Nigerians. You understand?
Right. So, yeah.
Before any political affiliation.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're running out of time. So, but I'd like to ask you the last question, Honorable Nwafo, before we leave. We saw the chairman of the faction. You may say it's not faction, but when you have two opposing people claiming to actually be the right person, so you leave us with little or no choice in the media. We have to pick our words. But the chairman of the side you support, Ambassador Kabiru Tsanimo, who was a former Minister of Special Duties, called on the international and foreign maybe organization or countries that Nigeria's democracy is under threat. And some persons have said it's not democracy, it's your political party. You should be able to solve your issues, and it's not about calling on international organization or international bodies. What do you think about that? And maybe you saw that particular story. Then to end it all, I'll ask you, what is the chance of the PDP ever again in Ebonyi State? So 2 questions. The chairman's call and Ebonyi.
Okay. As we speak now, I can tell you that our democracy is at crossroads, and it is in a deep threat. You understand? Our democracy is in a threat. I can agree with the national chairman of our great party, being Dr. Kabiru Tanimu, that our democracy is in threat. You understand? Our democracy is in threat, knowing fully well that if not because of the unwholesome practices of the failed APC, the ruling the opposition in Nigeria, because it would definitely degenerate to other political parties. You understand? Some people are watching PDP from afar, saying that PDP if they succeed in destroying PDP, they will definitely go to other political parties.
So who are those? Who are those destroying PDP?
Those destroying PDP are the agents of the APC.
But they are PDP members.
They are not PDP members. That is why we realized and we expelled them from our party, and they remain expelled. You understand? Let me be very, very clear. You understand? That the actions of the ruling APC brought about the one-party system we are about to experience, and the PDP as a party said no, we are not going to be part of
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Nwafo. We have to go now, but it's been great talking to you, and we hope to talk to you sometime later in the future. Thank you so much for speaking to us tonight.
It's my pleasure, sir. It's my pleasure.
All right, so we've been speaking to Honorable Nwafo, who is the State Publicity Secretary of the PDP in Ebonyi State. Let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll get straight to the next discussion tonight. All right, so also joining us tonight is a legal practitioner and also a rights activist, Bernard Edikon, who is joining us to help make sense of Nnamdi Kanu's trial and what is actually conviction rather at the moment and what it means for Nigeria. Thank you so much, Barrister, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Isong, for the privilege. It's a privilege to be here. Good evening, viewers.
All right, so Nnamdi Kanu's conviction, did you see this coming? And we've heard the defense team say they are going to appeal the judgment.
Well, it is the constitutional right of Nnamdi Kanu to appeal his judgment. Within 90 days, they have the powers to appeal. So I'm hoping that they will appeal it to the Court of Appeal and we'll see the outcome of the appeal.
Okay, but on the whole, I know you followed this trial. A lot of concerns from Nigerians. Well, look at the count. I think 6 count charges bordering on different issues, and it all tied to the same issue that terrorism, treason, and all of that. As a lawyer, has it enriched our jurisprudence or some persons also argue that it's a sad day for the judiciary. What is your total overview of that particular case?
Well, my total overview of the case is that it's not an indictment on the judiciary to say. You see, in criminal proceedings, it actually starts with the police. The police arrest, they prosecute. It is the duty of the courts, the judiciary, to give judgment based on the evidence presented before the court. And overwhelmingly, if you look at the judgment of Honorable Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court today, the judgment was self-explanatory and sound, in the sense that the evidence against Mr. Nnamdi Kanu were overwhelming. And I'm not saying that the evidence itself was too much, but when evidence is uncontroverted, like it happened in the case where Nnamdi Kanu refused to open his defense, the court has no option than to rely on everything exhibited by the prosecution, because the law is tried that where a defendant rests its case on that of the prosecution, the whatever comes in by the prosecution, the court will look at it and give his judgment. I think that was what happened today. If Nnamdi Kanu had put in a defense to say, okay, even the video evidences, the whatever, for example, like he can say, I'm not the person in the background, I'm not the one in those voices. Okay, has anybody come out to say Nnamdi Kanu ordered me to kill anybody? Those would have been legal arguments that would have been canvassed, but he refused to enter his defense, and that is in a way that was what the law looked at. And I think the anybody that listens to today's judgment will see that the evidence against Mr. Nnamdi Kanu was overwhelming. And even if you tell you, Mr. Also, it would have been difficult for you to hold otherwise.
All right, so talking about the judgment, it was a long reading and explanation, done by His Lordship before it actually went on to all of that. But let's look at the trial. We saw the time when Nnamdi Kanu sacked very respected lawyers like Kanu Agabi, Ozekome, and even a lawyer, Jofo, at some point, and decided to take up his case by itself. For you as a legal practitioner, was it a wise move? Because maybe we'll see this pattern with some Nigerians who will now say, okay, Nnamdi Kanu took up his case, I can also take up my case. I don't need the services of a lawyer.
Well, that is another mistake, personally, I think that he made. You see, when people tell you they don't need a lawyer, the law is different from what we see. Some persons will even tell you, I think that's a mistake most Nigerians are doing currently. They said there are some things in GTP, I'm a professor in this, but the truth is, if you're not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer. For example, the argument he canvassed by saying that Section 36, sub 12 of the 1991 Constitution that says the law, you must be charged with a written law and this and that and the rest. If you are to be a lawyer, you would have known that whatever it is, whenever there is a general rule, there's an exception in law. In the judgment, my Lord make it clear that that same law provides that where a matter has been commenced under a repealed law. In fact, the Terrorism Prevention Act 2022, the current one, even made a provision in section 98 by saying that when you've been tried under this repealed law, it should be taken as if it is done under this one. If you are to be a lawyer, you would have done research to see that. He just took a section of the Constitution and was saying it as if he knows what he was in. But to be sincere, it wasn't a wise decision from him. A lawyer is a lawyer. A lawyer went to school for 6 years to learn to practice what is trade, and he knows what he's doing. So, and the courtroom is not, there are intricacies, it's complex. It's not just something you can just come up and say you can do it on yourself. I'm not saying anybody, it is your right to defend yourself, but it is wise to employ the services of a lawyer who knows the do's and the don'ts, technicalities, and whatever that might come with this kind of trial.
All right. So another thing that is mentioned now is outburst, and we've seen it repeatedly in in the courthouse, where he will have this exchange between himself and his lawyer, between himself and the lordship. And today's exchange, some person said maybe would have been ordered to be remanded for all of that, but it was just ordered to be worked out. How does this show our judiciary to the global audience, this exchange between those who are standing trials and questioning the judgment coming from that hallowed chamber?
Okay, well, it was a very unfortunate incident, and to be sincere, this is not the first time it has happened. I think from since when he elected to represent himself, at even the last adjourned day, there was an outburst between himself and the judge. He was telling the judge, "You don't know the law." I think the Honorable Justice Omotosho was even lenient and has been trying to comport himself in this trial till what happened today. In fact, in a way, it didn't put the judiciary in a bad light. It shows how
all right, Barrister, can you hear me?
To work him out.
Yeah, go ahead, speak to us.
Sir? Yes, and my lord was even writing in working him out of the court so that there will be a little decorum in the court. That is a temple of justice. You have to hold the sanctity of the court must not be played with by anybody. He's standing trial, and whatever it is, I think the court did the right thing to restore decorum to the proceedings today in court.
All right, so if he decides to appeal the case, like his lawyers have talked about, will he have the opportunity at the appellate court to actually, open defense now, rightly, and put out his own defense?
Okay, well, that is it's a trite law. You cannot do that. The law is that you are not going to the appellate court to retry anything. You're only going, the opportunity for defense is gone, and it's gone forever. You are not going to the appellate court to reopen your defense again. You're only going there to say this judgment is wrong on this. My lord should look at this. They're only looking at the judgment of Honorable Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court. They will not give him. That is not the law for him to open his defense in the appellate level. That is not the law.
All right. So some people have talked about the fact that this trial has delayed this long because they thought there would be some political solution to solve this quagmire, knowing how this could trigger reactions from the southeastern parts of the country. As a lawyer, and I know there is something called alternative dispute resolution. How do you look at this? Could these issues would have been resolved out of the courts, or can there still be a political management of the issue?
Okay, well, to be sincere, matters like these are political in the sense that it's a sensitive matter that can bring security breaches. If you look at today, the security operatives are saying that they sent a lot of security to the southeastern region to avoid the breakdown of law and order. So I think matters like these are political, and I'm hoping and praying that the president look at it, and maybe they can grant him a presidential pardon at the end of it, because political solution at the end of the day to me is the best solution to what has happened. Even if the way he went about it was wrong, it is clear that he was agitating for self-determination, which is a right. International law, it's a right. It is right to say we want to secede for self-determination is a right, as my Lord rightly said in court today, is a right. But the way you go about it, so I think political solution will go a long way in bringing a lasting peace to the south eastern region. So I'm hoping that the president will look at it and maybe grant him a presidential pardon at the end of the day.
All right, so some persons were expecting it to be a death sentence. When my Lord paused that judgment for 1 hour and he said he will come back by 3:40 and all of that. But we are now seeing life in prison. What have been the difference? My last question for you tonight. What is the difference between a life imprisonment and maybe just giving an outright death sentence?
Okay, well, the act prescribes death sentence. That was why the prosecution counsel was insisting that the law is the law. That the law has said if you are found wanting terrorism charges, it should be death sentence. But my Lord looked at it again and was very lenient in that there is an international outcry against death sentence. Life is sacrosanct to God, and it shouldn't be taken just like that. So there are this international jurisprudence, criminal jurisprudence that believes that instead of sending someone to death, it should be by they should just go in for life imprisonment. I think that is even in the circumstance that is the line that my Lord told. And also before you even this thing, I think in a way that is the best thing to have. My Lord has, in fact, my Lord, some persons will say he did not strictly sense to hold on to the written provisions of the law in the sentencing, but I think it's a very lenient sentence when it comes to the worst. That would have been the best case scenario out of the worst scenario. So it's a good one.
Thank you so much, Barrister Bernard Edikong, a legal practitioner and human rights activist, for speaking to us tonight. We hope to have you in our studios one of these days.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, and that's the size of our program for tonight. Remember, Nigeria is our country and we must contribute positively to the growth and progress of this country. My name is Upong Osora in Abuja, and I'm saying bye for now.